Heather Craig. I'm the principal of Mill Park Elementary.
What are you most excited about this year?
I am excited about creating just a really inclusive environment for the kids and really the teachers, especially kids that have been not maybe feeling included in our culture. So for example, we started a regulation room, which is a calming room at our school, and it's really kind of lowered the temperature. It's a place where kids can take breaks. They check in on their zone, how they're feeling, whether it's the green zone means they're ready to go, yellow zone, a little anxious, red zone, they're really having a hard time regulating their emotions. And so they check in, they go through some yoga, and they leave the room after 10 minutes and they're just regulated, and we have a teacher. So I'm excited about just lowering the temperature, especially after the pandemic and all the stress for teachers, kids, families. Just creating an environment that's lighthearted, accepting, welcoming, and where people want to be here.
How do you encompass equity as a leader?
So equity is a belief. And so I think the most important thing I can do is learn and dig deeper into myself and exude that belief in all the daily choices that I make. So I do believe that we live in a society that prevents people of color from reaching their potential oftentimes, and it's systemic, it's historical, and it's a problem. And I feel like our school can be an agent of change. And so I have to be the leader of that change. And so I have to kind of be the lead learner. I have to look at my own self. I have to look at our structures. I have to look at our district structures, and I have to challenge them, and I have to reflect. And I think that spreads, and I think that's contagious. I see it already in our teachers. We have a really active equity PD group, and we're growing together, we're learning, we're pushing our thinking, and it's starting to spread around the school, and people are starting to challenge their beliefs. People are starting to understand that we are a part of white supremacy ourselves, and we aren't necessarily entirely aware a lot of the times of the little choices that we're making that are supporting white supremacy or white norms in school. And so just having us look at that and starting more of a grassroots movement. Like, it can't just come from me, but I can model it. So I'm trying to model it, but it is nice. It's starting to feel like it's bubbling up from the ground, and everyone here wants to make a better society. And so I think that means making it more equitable for our Black and brown students who have been alienated. So I think it's exciting. But yes, going back to the main question, equity is a belief. And so I'm trying to spread the belief, have believers.
How do you include the David Douglas equity lens when making building-wide decisions?
I can personally rush into decisions. And so I think the biggest thing I have to do is pause. And if there is a decision that affects students, all teachers, I just need to pause and get a couple different perspectives. And I have to, as far as the equity lens, I have to question who's really being affected and who's benefiting from that decision. So with equity, it means that I'm not fair. I'm not giving everybody the exact same thing. I'm somehow compensating for a society that operates from white supremacy. So that has to be a part of my decision-making process, and I have to be reflective about that and make decisions. Sometimes it might seem unfair to make sure that everybody and people of color feel included at our school. So I use the lens mostly to pause and reflect, who does this decision affect? Am I just making assumptions because of my own beliefs and my own culture, or am I really getting an appropriate array of opinions before I make a decision? I think that's really important. So yes, I have to pause.
What does a racially affirming school environment look like?
Well, I want our kids to come to school and feel like they belong. I don't want them to act themselves and feel like that is wrong. or bad. I remember hearing one time that Black families do a really good job of instilling confidence in their children. It's when they come to school when that confidence is challenged. And that is troubling to me. It's really discouraging because that means it's us. And so I think just being really careful of if kids are acting themselves, we need to affirm that they are themselves. We are having our norms and our expectations here, but are those alienating students? Or are they bringing them in? Are they engaging them?
What is your equity stance?
It goes back to the fact that, like I said before, that equity is a belief. And I think that the beliefs dictate our policies and our beliefs dictate our little actions. And so for me, I believe it starts with our beliefs, and then it starts with us challenging the way we've operated school and questioning, is this best for kids? And asking the students and asking teachers and teachers of color, like, is this best for you? Do you fit in? Why aren't there not very many teachers of color? So we have a lot of room to grow.
How will you use data to ensure equitable outcomes for students?
Well, we look at our discipline data regularly, which is like referrals, and we evaluate that based on race. So we know if we're disproportionate with our Black students or Asian students, so we desegregate our data. And we are still disproportionate with Black students at our school. So that's something that we actively talk about. We talked about it today in a school-wide meeting and said, what does this data mean? Why is this happening? What are we doing so that we can make our Black students in particular feel more included, so they're not acting out, so there isn't this clash. So being super transparent, we have to be super transparent with the data. Everybody has to see it. We have to talk about it. Another piece of data that was really interesting is our Youth Truth Family, Parent, and Kids survey. So we had 91% of our families take it. We texted every family to take the survey. We got a really, really good response. We had so many families surveyed, so we know what they think of our school. We know their feedback, and we know our growth areas. We got over 100 suggestions. So I think that data is going to be rolled out to the whole staff, and it's good data because we've got a big cross-section of our families. So we made a huge push to get that because we care, and I want to know. I don't know what families want unless we ask them. And so now we know what they think, we have the data, and we can move forward in a way that's more culturally appropriate for everybody.
What equity practices do you hope to see in every classroom?
So our equity plan, we focused on 2 culturally responsive teaching practices this year. Number 16, you don't even know the number. One is teaching, making sure that the teachers teach with, how do I phrase this? Using multiple perspectives. So when teachers are doing a lesson, are they asking students what they think? Are they involving diverse perspectives in the conversation? So that is something I've been looking for actively in the classrooms, and we've improved a lot, especially during math time. And then our new culturally respective practice that we've rolled out is positive self-talk. So trying to instill self-esteem in kids, like, I am beautiful, I am amazing, I can do this. And so trying to have those routines in the day where kids can change their mentality about what they're capable of and just build self-esteem. So those are the 2 practices that I'd like to see in every room.
As you reflect on your spring and summer hiring practices, share your efforts and outcomes to diversify your school for both classified and certified positions.
So this is incredibly important, and I have hired over 60% of our new staff has been staff of color. And the most exciting thing is our Alpha staff is now bilingual. We hired a health assistant who is supporting our Spanish-speaking families in the office. So it's really nice to feel like those families know that they can contact somebody directly. They are already coming in more often and connecting with Yolanda, who's our health assistant, Spanish-speaking health assistant. So that has been really huge. There's so much more Spanish speaking in the hallways. I feel like it's been really exciting bringing in diverse staff, and they're connecting with kids in new ways and building really good relationships. And it's because our staff is starting to better reflect our student population, and it matters, and the kids feel it. And it's hard to quantify that other than it's a feeling, and it feels really good. And so I'm going to continue seeking out leaders, teachers, classified, just staff of color in general, because it's been really positive this year for that. I'm Heather Craig. I'm the principal of Mill Park Elementary, and I believe in equity.